Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Off the Woodwork Podcast. I am Matt Perry, as always, joined by Stephen Hall and Anthony Milne. How are we, guys? All right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Ended up going back to Glasgow due to the lockdown that's taking place in England right now. Just wanted to get home before I couldn't. So, yeah, no background.
Happy second lockdown to everybody. Hope everybody has a great time over the next month. Stephen, how are you?
All right. Obviously, me and Mr. Perry here went out on Monday before the lockdown finished, but it's
went out for a nice Brazilian. You can interpret that any way you like.
Thanks for the invite, thanks for the invite, guys.
Yeah, I know. Such a shame, isn't it? Just didn't fancy seeing your horrid looking face. So
that's just rude. That is just rude, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's not nice. I apologise. Anyway, we're going to go on to talking about the last fixtures of the Premier League. We're going to focus more on individual teams this week. Then our main subject is going to be looking at the Champions League at the moment. And then we shall go on to our predictions for the next week of fixtures before the international break. But first, how did our predictions go last week, Anthony?
So this is the second last week. Next week is the final week, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so last place this week with 5 points is Stephen Hall. This in second place is Matt Perry with 6 points.
How many, sorry?
6 points.
6 points. Okay, that's not.
And in the lead with a whopping 9 is myself, which brings the total scores to Stephen is still in the lead with 19. I am in second place with 16, and Matt is last with 14 points entering the final week. So it's still all to play for. Everyone can get it.
I thought I did better this week. I got the Chelsea Burnley.
You got the Chelsea one spot on. But quite a few, like for instance, what one was it? Spurs Brighton. I'm the only one that picked Spurs to win, and they did.
It's because I'm just so much of a romanticist.
Leeds Leicester one. I predicted Leicester to win. You two didn't.
Yeah.
And I also got. I think it was. Which one was it? I think it was the Spurs one. I think I got the Spurs score right actually. 2-1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got 3 points there.
Yeah.
So that's why basically.
Doing it for you.
At the start of the week, we all pretty much were spot on.
It really didn't work out for you. Gareth Bale.
Southampton also winning once again was me because you two predicted draws. So, see a few different ones there where I went a bit different from you two, and it worked out this time.
Yeah, no, fair play. I thought I'd done all right this week, but apparently not. Let's hope my predictions are better this week. We're going to go into the last round of fixtures. We're going to focus on a few different teams. The first team I want to come to is a team who started the season very well, and now they're starting to slowly not do as well.
Go back to normal?
Yeah, or normal, as some people would say. Aston Villa lost 4-3 to Southampton. Southampton were 4-0 up in the game, I believe, weren't they? And Villa scored 3 goals, 2 in the 90th minutes or so. So what has happened to Villa? Stephen, what do you reckon?
I don't know. I mean, it's just that I think they just hit a really good run of form. Who did they lose to? Who was the first loss they had? It was
Leeds.
Yeah, they lost that game. I don't know. Maybe they've lost some confidence, or I mean, it's still only 2 losses. It's not like they've gone and lost 5 games in a row or anything. So, any team's going to slip up eventually. I think
and 4-3. They've lost 4-3 as well. And
the thing is, they
come back from 4-0 down to almost get a point. I mean, that's pretty.
That's the thing. Yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah,
I think that shows there's still a bit of fight in the team. Obviously, I mean, they were 4-0 down, and so any team at that stage is written off, but they still managed to get 3 goals. So I'll give them that. Do you think Southampton are a team who aren't playing too badly at the moment? Do you reckon that's got a lot to play for in it as well?
The big worry, though, with Southampton now is Danny Ings is out for the month. He's having knee surgery.
Ings is out for the month. Yes, I did see that. That could change my predictions.
I think the problem with Villa is that, like you say, they're scoring lots of goals. Ollie Watkins, Ross Barkley, Jack Grealish, it's all coming together up top. But defensively, they still need to improve, especially if they want to continue to build on where they finished last season. So whether that means signings in January or just next season, Villa just need to improve from the back, and then they'll climb up the table, hopefully.
Mings and Konsa is not going to get you a top, like, really high finish. You know, I mean, they're decent centre-backs, don't get me wrong, but are they, like, potential Europa League, Champions League quality centre-backs? No, not really.
No, not really. I've quite like Mings. I think Mings is getting better.
I think Mings is all right. He's a solid player, but he's not, like, at that top level if Villa actually do want to make a serious run of it like Wolves did when they went up. And now they've solidified that sort of Europa League sort of place.
I suppose Villa fans are probably getting nosebleeds being so high up the table for a bit. I guess their expectations aren't exactly that high anyway, to be honest. The next game's against Arsenal away. So are we going to see are we potentially seeing Aston Villa now just faded away back to their usual normality, shall we say?
It's too early to tell. Even if they lose to Arsenal, they're still, like, they can still pick up points elsewhere. I think Villa will improve on where they finished last season. I'm thinking with the way they're playing, I can't see them being relegation battle.
No, I think they're not. I don't see them getting relegated.
I think they're gonna start going down the table still. What I mean is because they're higher than anyone expect them to be, even if you didn't expect them.
Or do you think they could finish in the top 10?
It's so hard to call this year. It really is.
Very good for them. That'd be a good season if they did finish top 10, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, in most seasons I'd say no, even with the way they're playing. But because the way the season is right now, I honestly couldn't say, Stephen. I don't know. I don't know. I'm
personally thinking top half of the bottom half of the table. So I'm thinking maybe...
So 11, like 12, 13...
If not top 10, then very close. Maybe like 12 or something.
Yeah. I think I could see them 12th or 13th, to be honest, which is an improvement.
I could see them going on a pretty decent FA Cup run, maybe getting to the FA Cup final or something. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah,
that's potential. Who's going to finish higher, Villa or Southampton, come the end of the season?
Oh, I don't know. I think they'll both be in a similar area. I think they'll be in the similar area of the table right now.
Top half of the bottom half.
Yeah,
both of them
completely safe. No worries, but nothing much to play for. Shall we move on to a team that has had a disaster of things once again at home and had another disaster of things last night? Shall we get into the Red Devils themselves?
Yes, let's do it. So, obviously, Man United lost at home to Arsenal on the weekend. Something I definitely didn't see coming, to be honest.
I predicted Arsenal to win.
Yeah, you predicted them to win. I predicted a draw.
To make matters worse, as if Ali didn't have enough pressure on him, United have gone and lost to Istanbul. And everybody know who scored for Istanbul last night?
35-year-old Demba Ba.
Demba Ba, still doing bits.
Have you seen the reaction to that goal? Like from a lot, like Rio Ferdinand, Paul Scholes, they've lambasted the defence because it is shocking defending.
Oh, mate, honestly, I had a great time last night watching Chelsea Ren. I had to listen to Joe Cole and Rio Ferdinand. It was like listening to two dunces. I love Joe Cole, but bloody hell, he's a crap pundit. It was shambolic defending that first goal. The whole back four were up halfway across the other side of the pitch, weren't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the closest one was it was mental. It was unreal. It was like, see what you will about Liverpool losing Van Dijk and their defence now being a bit more shaky. You wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think Liverpool had lost their star defender and Man United still had all their players fit based on the two teams' performance over the last couple of games.
Yeah, well, this is the thing with United. I think I kind of said this one of our really early podcasts. I said that I think one of the problems with United is that they're a team of individuals at times. And for me, and I thought this for the United-Arsenal game afterwards, I generally think Paul Pogba might be one of the most overrated footballers in Premier League history.
I don't know. It's hard to say because Paul Pogba, when he's good, is excellent.
But he's not good enough time.
He has the talent. He just has a shit attitude. I think he just doesn't work hard.
I think the attitude's the problem. But the thing is, we've seen positive attitude from him in the past. I don't know what it is. Maybe I think it might just be a mental block there. I don't know. I do agree with you that he's been overrated and he's actually probably getting in the way now of United's process. But
it reminds me of a meme. It's like, do you know what I mean? When I'm thinking when Pogba eventually leaves Man United, I just imagine that meme where it's like, my work here is done. And then the other person's just like, but you didn't do anything. And that's what I kind of feel like about United's, Pogba's United career, to be honest.
yeah, that's the thing though. With like we've seen him in the World Cup of France, he is excellent when he is on his game.
Yeah,
but he hasn't really ever done it consistently enough at United. Like when he's good at United, he's great. He's one of the best players in the league.
Yeah,
he's not,
I just personally think Pogba leaving United would be a better move for United and a better move for Pogba as well.
He gets away from the criticism as well, though. Like if he went to Spain, he's not going to face, or even PSG, or even back to Italy. He's not going to get as much backlash from the media.
Is it maybe that he just doesn't care about Man United anymore? He's just like, I don't want to try for this club because I just don't. Maybe the club, he doesn't care about the club. Maybe the club have sort of treated him badly behind the scenes. You know, maybe it's just like, I don't want to try for this club because I just don't like it here.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm United at the moment, I'd be starting Donny van de Beek over Pogba personally.
They're two different players, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
literally they are. But you know what I mean. They're two different kind of roles, two different styles, two different like.
Yeah, but Beek's not getting for the main starting 11 at the moment. He's not getting into it. I don't know. I don't really know where United go from here. I think Solskjaer's going to be under more pressure if they don't get a result against Everton on Saturday.
We'll have to see. I did see something interesting on Man United. I can't remember if it was Sky Sports or BBC on Twitter.
I saw on Talk Sports earlier. There was a statement.
And feel free to go follow us on Twitter, by the way, people listening.
Link in the description.
But basically, I think it's Sky Sports BBC where they put who's to blame for the failures at Manchester United. And there was 4 options. It was the Glazer family, Ed Woodward on the board, Ollie, and then the players. And Ollie got the least percentage of faults. So no one's blaming him. They think he's the least at fault for everything going on. It's Ed Woodward and the board that are getting the most criticism.
Yeah.
So
it's obviously like I think it's just a combination of all 4, maybe to different extents.
But the problem is if something goes wrong, you can either sack the board, the manager, or the players. Who's most likely to get the job out of all 3?
True. I feel one because I think Ollie has brought United further forward than where they were when he got there. Which means like United at the end of last season when they finished 3rd, and they were just great. Like they were the best team of the lockdown period. They can't even say lockdown period anymore because now we're back into another one. But like he got them to there, so he can get them playing well and as a team. So maybe it's different personality needs. Maybe he needs like Pogba gone and needs other players in.
Yeah, I'd argue so. What do you think, Stephen?
I think maybe there's just some players like Pogba who maybe have too much negative influence. But I think a lot of players there, I feel like they're safe. And maybe if they can bring in some other players to say like, hey, your positions here aren't safe. Like you got to get your ass in gear if you want to start. Like, yeah, I just think there's too many players there who just feel like they're too safe and they're just picking up a wage and they haven't really got any competition and no motivation to try. So maybe they just need to shake things up like dramatically.
TalkSport sent out a tweet today saying they understand that United are trying to line up Pochettino as the replacement for Solskjaer eventually.
I don't know Pochettino could do a better job, to be honest. Not to say Pochettino's not a better manager, because he is. Pochettino is a brilliant manager. But I think the problems at United are so much deeper than just bringing in a good manager. Because Louis van Gaal wasn't exactly a nobody when he took over. No. Jose Mourinho couldn't get them to finally tick. And he was probably successful. Yeah, and he says that's the greatest accomplishment of his career.
Yeah.
This is a man that's won the Champions League a few times. So what does that say about the problems at United being further than what a manager can do?
But to be fair, Pochettino, I mean, when he was at Spurs, I mean, Daniel Levy isn't exactly known as being the most supportive
No, but look at the players he did have regardless. Toby Alderweireld at the time when Pochettino was there was one of the best defenders in the league. At one point, he was the best. Harry Kane, Son, Dele Alli when he was still playing well, Lucas Moura towards the end. Like, Pochettino, it's not like Pochettino had nobody. He had players like Wanyama. He had, Christian Eriksen, Jan Vertonghen. Like, he had good Hugo Lloris.
Eriksen playing his
World
best,
Cup,
yeah.
A World Cup lifting captain. Like, he had good players, Pochettino. It was just they didn't recruit when they needed to, and now that's why the way they are now.
Well, you can say Man United also have good
before.
players. They're just underperforming. On paper, Man United's squad is a top 4 squad. On paper.
That defense isn't. That defense isn't.
Maybe not the defense, but the midfield and the attack and the goalkeepers.
I think if Pochettino does go into United, I think he needs full. The first thing he needs to be going in asking for is full reassurance from the board that he wants control of the transfers for a start. But
I just think no one wants to go. No one wants to go to United. Like, regardless of being Manchester United, that has drawing power. But right now, if you're a player playing at the top of your game, if you're Jadon Sancho, let's say, and you're playing at the top of your game, and you can basically go to any team you want if they can afford you. Why would you be going to Manchester United unless you dreamed of playing for Manchester United?
Yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, money talks.
Yeah, but what I mean is, would you take even like a 20% pay cut to play at a team that's actually going to win, like play at Real Madrid instead, or play at Chelsea instead, but you take a 20% cut?
Oh yeah, it depends.
A lot of players would do that. Like, thing is, look at Thiago, for instance. Thiago had a pick of teams that wanted him. He wanted to go to Liverpool because they're playing well. They were winning.
Pedro.
Well, I mean, if you put it right now, like, who would you rather go to than Liverpool in the Premier League right now? I don't think there's any other team, maybe apart from Man City, that you would actually want to go to ahead of Liverpool.
Potentially City, because of Guardiola, maybe. That's a fair point. Maybe Chelsea even over United at the moment. No, definitely Chelsea over United at the moment.
Heck, even Arsenal over United at the moment. And I know that's...
I've already gone that far. No,
Arsenal beat them. Arsenal being consistent. Arsenal looking better now.
Yeah, that is true. Speaking of North London, shall we move on to another team in North London who've picked up they've done gradually okay in the league. They obviously lost to Antwerp in the Europa, but Tottenham have been winning and a couple of draws as well in the Premier League. They beat Brighton 2-1.
As far as I can tell, they haven't lost since the opening day.
Yeah. So they beat Brighton 2-1. They beat Burnley 1-0. Always a hard place to go to. They beat United 6-1. They drew to West Ham 3-3. But, I mean, let's face it, that Lanzini shot at the end was just unreal. So how do you think about Tottenham at the moment?
I think they're just clicking.
Yeah, they're just clicking. Looking too bad. I mean, they're not setting the boat on fire or anything, but...
No, but I think Harry Kane's having his best season. In a way, not his best goal-scoring season, but his best season. His assist numbers and goals, he's now transitioning into a player who can do more than put the ball in the net. He's facilitating the players around him, and that is working. I think Tottenham need to improve the defence still. I think that's the big problem area, and we've seen it. But I think with Son, Harry Kane, and some of those other attacking players they've got, you can never count them out right now.
Do you think Tottenham are turning into a typical kind of Mourinho team at the moment? When I say that, a team that sort of just grind out results.
I don't know, because it's not like they're going for the classic Mourinho 1-0s. Like, they've got quite a few games where they've scored quite a lot of goals.
Yeah, Southampton and United, obviously.
Even the West Ham game, they still scored 3 goals. You know what I mean? Like, I think they've changed to a style similar to Mourinho's, but I don't know if they've gone full Mourinho just yet. I think they made some good signings they needed. I think they needed Højbjerg, and I think they needed Reguilon.
Vinicius as a backup striker.
Yeah, they needed some of these players in, and they got them. And I think you're now starting to see that. I think they still could do with I think they could do with a midfielder, like a top midfielder, and like a Wilfred Ndidi, for example. Because I think and I think they could do with a centre back. I don't really know who I'd like throw out there at the moment, because all the good centre backs probably Tottenham wouldn't pay for.
Well, I think if they do get another midfielder, they're going to have to offload someone, because they have just a bunch of midfielders at the moment that just...
they'll be trying to offload Ali. They'll be trying to offload Ali.
They've been trying to offload Ali for a while, yeah.
Yeah, especially after the comments Mourinho made after the Antwerp game.
Wouldn't be surprised if they tried to offload Dyer too, to be honest.
I think Dyer's just a useful squad player at this point, though.
Yeah,
he's never a starter, but he's
a very Mourinho player.
Yeah, but the thing is, he can play centre-back and midfield. He's quite a useful player to have for injuries.
I think in the documentary you saw that Mourinho kind of likes likes Dyer for whatever reason.
Also, he speaks Portuguese, yeah.
Which is helpful, yeah.
He speaks Portuguese, so probably loves it for that. Where do you see Tottenham realistically finishing come the end of the season at the moment on this?
I think my table, when I predicted them fifth in our table, I think that's pretty reasonable. I think they're going.
I'm just going to quickly check where I predicted them because it's been a while since I looked at my predictions.
I think you both predicted them at 7th.
I think you might be right, and that is probably harsh looking at the way they're playing at the moment.
I predict them 8th.
But again, the teams around them are doing all right.
I predicted them 8th,
okay.
And I predicted United 3rd. I'd honestly consider swapping those two at this point.
Would you say that Tottenham have more chance of finishing top 4 than United this season?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, right now, yes.
Yeah.
It's still early. Thing is, normally at this point we're further into the season than we are right now, but because we started later, obviously. But I think Everton and Tottenham will be looking at the table right now, looking at the teams that we were expecting to get top 4. Even Chelsea. Chelsea are now coming onto a game, but I still don't think Chelsea. Leicester, Wolves, Arsenal. I think this top 4 race. Even though one of these teams is not playing at the level we were thinking they'd be playing at, I still think Liverpool and City are the only 2 teams now who are pretty much confident top 4 picks. I think the rest. You say Chelsea and Tottenham, but Chelsea could go on a run of like 4 per games, and suddenly you're not sure. Like Chelsea
winning the league.
Right. Okay.
Just put it out there. We're winning the league. It's clicking.
Everyone's talking about Liverpool not playing well. We're still top. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, that's true.
We're still top. We just gave a player his debut at centre back, and he was man of the match.
Yeah. Let's see how you come on against City on the weekend.
That would be an interesting. To be honest, I'm not afraid. If we lose that game, it sucks. But I'd rather lose to City and make sure we don't lose to any teams like Southampton, Palace, teams that we should be beating. Like if we lose to City, but then don't lose to any of the 14 other teams in the league that are not Big Six.
Well,
I'll take it
because you've got City, then you've got Leicester. Then you also have Wolves coming up as well. So it could be a bit of an interesting time for Liverpool. You'd hope to get maybe... Well, I mean, obviously, if you're Liverpool, you'd hope to get 12 points out of 12 out of them. But
those 3 games?
No, sorry. I also forgot to mention you got Brighton in between as well.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, with the way Diego Jota's playing, anything can happen. I've been very public on Twitter with my love for Jota. He still hasn't responded to my marriage requests.
I think Jota has probably been the most underrated signing of this season, to be honest.
Yeah.
He wasn't even cheap, though. Like, he was 40 million.
I think he's been good. I mean, who else has been a good signing so far? I'd argue Ben Chilwell looks pretty good. Castagne at Leicester, he looks pretty good.
Yeah. Edouard Mendy's looking solid.
Yeah, Thiago Silva in that case.
The thing is, Mendy's played 2 Premier League games though, so I think it's still too early to say.
Yeah, that's my thing. To be fair,
he's done well, but you don't want to start praising a player too early.
I'm not saying he's been fantastic. I'm just saying he's just.
James Rodriguez, yes. James Rodriguez, I agree with. He's been excellent.
Yeah, I know, but here they all count.
That's what I mean. That's a genius free transfer. I mean,
he's only played
wages,
right.
Though.
I know I've just said about Mendy, so I'm not going to say this player, but a similar point though to Mendy. He's only played twice for Liverpool, but Thiago, both times he's played, has been incredible. He has commanded the game. He came on against Chelsea, then he had COVID, then we had an international break, then he came back and got injured at Everton because Richarlison's a wet wipe. He's coming back soon though, Thiago, which is good because we are thin right now because Fabinho's out injured, Matip's out injured, Van Dijk's out injured.
Everybody's out injured.
Keita and Oxlade, I don't know where they've gone. I think they're napping.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Where are they?
Keita, I think, Keita's been on the bench a few times, I think. He's just not getting on the pitch.
I can't wait for Oxlade-Chamberlain to be loaned out to Southampton in January.
But Oxlade-Chamberlain apparently had an injury in pre-season. But no one said anything about it, so I don't know now. That's the problem. Like,
interesting
with Liverpool, like Alisson keeps getting injured a few times. Oxlade-Chamberlain keeps getting injured. Shaqiri, like quite a few of the Liverpool squad players. Not Alisson's not a squad player, but Oxlade, Matip, Shaqiri, they aren't consistent enough. Like Matip's made of glass. I think he's an excellent defender when he plays, but he doesn't play enough because he's always injured. So I honestly say we need to bring someone in. I mean, did you guys see the BBC newspaper talks who were saying who Liverpool were looking at to bring in January?
Alaba?
No. Although I wouldn't say no to that one, actually.
Koulibaly. Koulibaly. Oh,
we're not going in for Koulibaly, but could you imagine a defence with Koulibaly and Van Dijk when he comes back with Alisson in goal?
Yeah. Apparently Liverpool haven't got any money, so I doubt they'll be able to afford him.
Yeah, but we said we didn't have any money. Then we signed Thiago and Jota, but the deals were we paid barely any this season. Yeah. Like, look, we paid 4 million this year, and Jota was 5. So we've only paid 9 million.
What about Tsimikas?
Well, Tsimikas was different because we sold Lovren for 10 million, 10.75 or something, and we bought Tsimikas in for 11.25 or 11.5. So that transfer was basically that transfer was. Honestly, I wish we hadn't sold him at this point because we really need him right now. But Tsimikas is back now because he was also out for a while with COVID and other things. But so Liverpool are slowly getting there.
Still optimistic. And on that note, we're going to move on to our next segment, I believe. Shall we, lads?
Yes, the Champions League.
Let's do it. Okay, we're going to move on now to talking a bit about the Champions League. At the moment, let's start with the English teams in general. At the moment, I'd say it's been pretty good for the English teams, hasn't it? City and Liverpool both got 9 points out of 9.
Chelsea, they're top 7. Of all the groups.
Yeah, and we're top of all the groups. Even United, who obviously lost to Istanbul yesterday, are still top. But it'll be interesting what they play like again because they obviously got to play like.
It's really annoying with United in a way because if you're a United fan, you were hoping Istanbul were the points you were positive you get. With the group with PSG and Leipzig in it, they had a chance to extend their lead in that group and they dropped the ball.
It just doesn't make sense, does it? You go and beat PSG and Leipzig in 2 very well-played games. You're not doing ideally in the Premier League at the moment, and then you go and lose to Istanbul as well.
So, even without giving you guys any time to realistically think about this, based on what we're seeing right now in respective leagues and in the Champions League, who's your pick? If you had to pick now.
If I had to pick someone to win the Champions League?
Yeah.
So I want to say Bayern again, to be honest.
I'm thinking Bayern. I can't.
Bayern. It's so boring, but we're all good. Bayern.
Can I be honest with you? You might think I'm biased towards my own team, but if Liverpool had Van Dijk, I would have loved to see a Liverpool Bayern final. I think that would have been a really good final.
Well, it's potentially you'll still get them at some stage.
Without Van Dijk, I can't see us getting to the final. I still see us being top 8 realistically.
Yeah, it's again like I say always, the Champions League is really, really hard to call because it does come down to just the game for most of the times.
Yeah. What about
if you're looking on paper, if Man City get their players back, get an injury-free squad, then I think City could be second favourites for me.
So City have been doing a lot better in the Champions League than they have been doing in the Premier League, like much better.
Yeah, they've got a goal difference of 8. They've scored 9 goals, conceded 1.
Yeah, the thing is they've played. I mean, it's not hard. Marseille are pretty crap. Porto, okay at home, but have a terrible away record always. Olympiacos, I mean, they're a Greek side at the end of the day. They're never going to do great.
If you're talking about forms as well, look at Liverpool's. So Liverpool, who have not been great at keeping clean sheets in the league, have yet to concede a goal in the Champions League.
They scored Atalanta, Ajax, 2 teams that can score goals.
Yeah, decent teams.
Yeah, they're not weak teams. Obviously, I know Liverpool, in my opinion, are better than those 2 teams. But those teams are not write-offs. Ajax are not as strong as they were a few years ago because a lot of their players have been picked. You know, De Ligt's gone, Van de Beek's gone, Sajic is gone, De Jong's gone. I'm actually amazed Onana's not.
Esther's gone.
It's still going to be. I think that Liverpool group is still going to be quite tight come the end of it because I can't see Michelin picking up any points, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think Liverpool at this point almost like. Well, I mean, Liverpool have got Atalanta at Anfield, and the team I can't pronounce and don't want to insult people by trying to pronounce.
Sorry to all the Swedish listeners, viewers.
I think Ajax in Holland are the only game I'm worried about. But if that's the only game we drop points, then
You're going to be fine.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
It'll be tight between Ajax and Atalanta.
Say Midtjylland is Swedish.
Are they Swedish or are they
No,
Norwegian?
they're Danish. It's Brentford's affiliate
Danish.
team.
You've just insulted people more, Matt, than I did.
The guy who owns Brentford also owns Midtjylland.
I've just screwed over the whole Scandinavia. That is a shame. But moving on, who do you think is going to pick up the second spot in that group then out of Ajax and Atalanta at the moment?
Atalanta, to be honest.
I think Atalanta as well.
I think Atalanta, but to be honest, after the showing against Liverpool, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, they didn't look great.
Yeah, but 5-0. 5-0.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
looking at Group E then, it looks fairly comfortable that Chelsea and Seville are going to be the two teams to come through that. Krasnodar don't look great. Ren didn't look particularly great against Chelsea. They were a bit unlucky.
You nicked their best player.
Red card. Yeah, we nicked their best player. So, yeah. That's the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
Group F still very close.
Chelsea actually haven't conceded a goal yet in the Champions League.
That's true as well, yeah.
Yeah, fun little fact for you.
That must be new for them.
Yeah, it's nice.
Group F is still very close. Dortmund are top with 6, but Lazio's on 5. Bruges on 4.
I mean, yeah, the thing it's all to play for the second spot. I think Dortmund will obviously go through. Said it could maybe pick up a point or maybe a win at some stage. Bruges, on paper, I don't think they're doing great in the Belgian league if I recall. But I'd fancy Lazio to get that second spot, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Let's have a look at, in my opinion, the group of death, which is looking very tight. And that is Group B, which conforms of Borussia Mönchengladbach, Shakhtar Donetsk, Real Madrid, and Inter Milan.
You would say that's Group of Death?
Oh, of course it's the Group of Death. Look at it. It's evil.
No, but...
Look at it. Look how tight it is.
I can't decide between that and United's group. I know Real Madrid and Inter Milan are also top teams, but look at this. United, Leipzig, PSG. PSG and Leipzig won the semi-finals last year.
Yeah, that's more of a group of death.
Nah, I think Group B is the group of death. Gladbach, Madrid, and Inter. Shakhtar aren't
They're
even
both
that bad
groups,
either.
but come on, the United group is tougher. Come on.
But what I mean is,
I don't think it is.
Leipzig are better than Gladbach.
I mean,
PSG
United
are better
should
than
be.
Inter.
I feel like if Shakhtar and Istanbul played each other, Shakhtar would win. But United have just lost to Istanbul because they're crap.
Yeah, but PSG, United, and Leipzig could all be Inter Milan and Gladbach. And with the play, they could potentially beat Real Madrid. Well, I mean, I think both groups are very tough. I just don't know which one would be the group of death. I think there's arguments for both, but I would personally say the United group because I think United group's harder to call. On paper, to me, Real Madrid and Inter Milan are the two that you'd assume would go further, even though they're the two in the bottom.
So this is the thing. Inter Milan have, after 3 games are 2 points. Madrid are 4 points. Same with Shakhtar Donetsk, and then Gladbach, surprisingly, maybe are top of the group.
Yeah, but what I mean
points.
is, if Real Madrid beat Gladbach, then it doesn't matter if Gladbach are top right now. That's the thing. That group is still very close, but realistically, I still expect Real Madrid to go through.
The other thing is Gladbach have scored 10 goals. They've scored the most goals there as well. I'd still fancy Madrid to go through, of course.
Yeah, but if you look,
I'm not saying it's going to be easy.
If you look at Gladbach, they've only won once, so they're clearly not if they're scoring, the clear conceding that's costing them. Did they have one really big result? Because I'm looking at it, they've conceded 4 goals and drawn
they beat Shakhtar
twice.
6-1 last night.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That shows you I wasn't aware.
But yeah, so Shakhtar got a very surprising result against Madrid, and they drew to Inter. So I think it's a pretty toughie. Looking at that, Inter Milan just don't seem to be doing well in Europe under Conte. I don't know what it is. But
they probably don't.
They could go on a decent Europa League run if they get third.
Didn't they go Europa League last year as well?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It's interesting.
Take Matt's word.
Yeah, I mean, It's interesting. I mean, depending how Inter do in the league this season as well, Conte could be under quite a bit of pressure as well. And you know, he's one to fall out with the board at some stage.
Sound better there.
He likes to fall out with the board. Okay, let's talk about then, in that case, United's group. Will United go through?
I don't know. I'd assume
no clue.
so. But, I mean, they've got PSG Old Trafford, but honestly, I think at that point now, that's worse.
I would love to see PSG go out. That would be class.
It will be funny. It will be really funny.
But I don't think it will. I think United are just about going to scrape through. I think
so what, you think
United
Leipzig finish third?
Yeah, I think Leipzig just miss out. That's what I think.
I'm going to be a bit spicy and say United finish third, actually. I'm going to be a bit spicy.
The more I look at it, the more I think United might. But like I say, they are top right now.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it's tough.
It's too early to call.
Could Istanbul make a run?
Nah, Istanbul aren't. Let's be real. They got surprising win, but let's be real, they're not.
It depends how well David Bar does. But yeah. I mean, it is tough to call. Some are okay. Barca and Juve will walk through their group, to be honest.
Yeah, that's very clear.
Yeah. And Munich are obviously walking through their group. You'd hope Atletico would go through in that as well.
Almost certainly, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like obviously it's Munich's competition to lose.
They could go out early. If let's say they come up against a team that are playing like a City that are playing well, or a Liverpool that are playing well, even a Chelsea who have improved from last year.
I can't see Chelsea anywhere near beating Munich at the moment.
But, no, I know, but all you need is like a 1-1 in Munich if you get lucky.
Yeah, but I tell you what, if there is an early game when Munich go out, then it's anybody's to win basically at that stage, isn't it?
Oh,
it could go
who
anyway.
is your guys is a dark horse this year to maybe go on a surprise run?
Oh, my dark horse. I am going to go for Chelsea. No, I'm joking. I am going to go for...
I'm going to go for Gladbach.
Are you? So you think Gladbach are going to get through their group?
I think Real Madrid and Gladbach based on the amount of goals there. I think if Inter want to stand a chance of going through, they need to step up. If they don't go through, then I'm an idiot.
It's really tough to think of a dark horse. I'm thinking maybe Dortmund.
But Dortmund always go quarterfinals and get knocked. I mean, like they're not really. They are in this competition pretty much every year now.
Yeah, they are a vintage quarterfinal team. I don't know. Yeah, it's a toughie. Maybe Chelsea.
Lazio, maybe.
Nah,
I don't think so. So if you burst your bubble.
No, but I'm trying to pick a team who we haven't seen reach the semi-finals or final in a while. So that's why I'm going Gladbach, Lazio, because I don't consider like Dortmund or Chelsea dark horses because they're Champions League teams and they have been for a while.
Who are you saying then, Stephen?
I honestly there's just in the domestic leagues too. There's been so many dark horses all over the continent. It's just this season in general, domestically and continentally, it's just been so hard to call. I think we've already kind of gone over the main ones like a Gladbach or a Dortmund or a Leipzig or someone like that. But I think until the group stages are finished, I think we can't really come up with a dark horse just yet.
And he asked a bloody question.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's kind of dumb with me. Like, I asked the question. I don't really have a good answer, to be honest. But I was hoping you guys had the answer. That's why I asked.
Yeah, well, I just something to work on anyway. But yeah, I look forward to the last 16 knockouts because I think it's going to be a lot of high-scoring games, don't you?
Yeah, are they doing 2 legs or back to the 1 leg system they did this year?
That is a good question. I don't know. I'm going to assume they're going to do 2 legs.
Before we move on from the Champions League, back to the Premier League, I just wanted to ask you one last thing as well, which is, who's your Golden Boot winner? Who do you think is going to get Golden Boot? Currently, Morata is out in front, but he is.
Oh Jesus!
He's joint top.
Oh Lord!
He's joint top with Diego Jota, Dominic Szoboszlai, thank you. Haaland, Rashford, yeah. So they're all on 4 goals.
So the problem is, they're all on 4 goals, but if you look at the teams, they might not actually go as far, which kind of gives others the opportunity. If I had to go for anybody at the moment, I'm still betting my money on Lewandowski.
Well, we talked about dark horses in terms of teams, but in terms of players, if we all say Mönchengladbach are the dark horses, then I'm going to say Alassane Player is a dark horse. He scored a hat-trick last night against Shakhtar. He's been scoring, I think, domestically as well. So I'm going to say Alassane Player is a dark horse show.
I would love to back Haaland, but I don't know if Dortmund will go far enough for him to get as many goals. I don't know.
If Diego Jota continues to play the way he's playing, because he's now got, 3, 4...
I've got another spicy question.
6
do you think
goals
Jota should be starting ahead of Firmino right now?
Oh, it's so hard to answer that question because on form,
I saw a lot of memes midweek about Jota taking Firmino's place because people taking the piece saying Firmino does nothing.
And on form right now, you'd say yes. On form right now, you'd say yes for Jota to start ahead of him. But what Firmino does is so important, and no one else can really do it. Like what he does, like he enables Salah and Mane to play the way they play. You take him out, and they'll struggle a bit more.
I think Jota can do that too, and also score goals on top of it.
Yeah,
we don't have enough proof that Jota can do the same as Firmino.
Well, you do, Liverpool just won 5-0 against Atalanta.
Yeah, but Stephen, he did it once against the team Liverpool better than. How's he going to do it against Man City? Firmino's done it for seasons, but he's done it for seasons on seasons.
Yeah,
that's like saying, Firmino's this magical player who does these magical things.
I'm not saying he's a magical player, but I'm saying Firmino's a player that is much more important than his stats. That's the big difference between football and other sports. Like,
but I don't think taking Jota.
No,
I don't think taking Jota out for him is like a massive improvement.
No, but that's what I mean. I'm not. Well, I mean, Jota. If he starts ahead of Firmino, I agree with it. If he doesn't, I understand why not. Saying that because he's had one game where he managed to do it. It's like saying that, it's fine, we'll lose Messi because we've got this 16-year-old kid who's played 5 games of football. No, it's not. You can't use once.
Ansu Fati looks very good.
Jota's been doing it for like 3 seasons now in the Premier League.
I've looked at his stats over the 3 seasons, and also his role at Wolves was not the same as his role if he was trying to take on the Firmino role.
He's played up front before.
Of course not.
Playing up front, Stephen, is not the Firmino role. That's just playing the same position. The role is different. Like Firmino plays up front, so does Timo Werner. They do not have the same role, even though they play the same position.
Jota's he does play that sort of false 9 role in his career before. I think. Honestly, you might as well just give him a shot. Just give him.
Not against Man City, to be honest. Not against Man City. Honestly, I think Man City.
Just give it a punt. If it doesn't work,
against Brighton and Wolves, or against Brighton and Leicester, then yeah, but not against Man City. That Man City is one of our biggest games of the season. It's an important game.
I think he's proved himself so far. I'd say why not give him a shot?
I would love to see your predictions for Man City. So should
Steven,
we go on to predictions?
He's doing well, but he's had one game where he scored a hat trick and a couple of games where he scored a goal, and he's played well. But a player who's had 4 years of being consistently one of Liverpool's top players to then just go, nah, good luck, mate, bam, just push him out. It's insulting. It's insulting. It'd be like punting out Lampard in his prime because he had a run of bad games, and like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a player now from that time who Marco Marin. Marco Marin had a good run of form.
Did he?
I'm using an example of a player who comes in.
Legend Marco Marin.
I mean, you're talking about Jota like he's a guy who's literally just arrived in the Premier League.
I'm not. I'm talking about like a player who's only just started playing for Liverpool.
Okay. We're going to disagree, so let's just leave it here.
You two agree to disagree. We're moving on to our Premier League fixtures. Then you can have it about the City-Liverpool results. So as always, we're going to go through the round of fixtures just before the international break, and we're going to give our predictions. We are starting with Brighton versus Burnley. Anthony, go for it.
Brighton vs Burnley. I've went for 2-1 to Brighton. They've been playing good football, but the results haven't quite been there, and Burnley are struggling. So, yeah, 2-1.
Okay, I'm going for 2-0 to Brighton because, Brighton need to pick up a point somewhere. And Burnley are struggling. Stephen?
I'm going to say 1-0 to Brighton. Another thing we can talk about, just a quick side note. Are Burnley in danger of going down?
I think
Maybe.
they'll get out of it.
I think they'll get out of it, but I think they're going to have a dogfight.
I don't know.
I think wait till January like last season, and then they'll start picking up.
I just think they're just Burnley. The club just seems to be in a bit of a shambles at the moment, just behind the scenes too.
But they've got a lot of players out right now. Like once those players are back, it could be very different.
I mean, there's been talks of a takeover. So if this takeover goes through before January, then I think that is going to make or break their season.
What means Tarkowski's still out, isn't he? And is it Ben Mee that was also out?
No, I think Tarkowski's back, but Mead's still out.
But that's what I mean. They've not had the two main players back at the same time. That means once
they've really signed anyone apart from Dale Stevens.
Oh yeah, no, I think they won't do well this year. But I think once they've got the full team back, they've been off the tail
for a long time. Yeah,
I think once they've got the full team back, we might see them start to climb up a bit. But I still think they'll be like coming the final game of the season, needing to win to stay up.
And on that note, we're all going for Brighton. Lovely.
Yeah.
Southampton versus Newcastle. I had a different prediction, but then young Anthony reminded me that Southampton have just lost Danny Ings. Stephen, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that might have changed my mind a little bit. Maybe not. I think obviously in that Villa game, we didn't talk about him, but Ward-Prowse, I mean, 2 top draw free kicks. Really good.
True.
Well, perhaps is a very good player, in my opinion. Congratulations to him for getting in the England squad because it's well deserved.
So, and he's just entering his prime now as well. Was he 26?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He's been in the States.
So, even though they got no wings, I think Ward-Prowse can still maybe bang in a free kick or 2. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Southampton.
Lovely. I am going to go. I think Saints have been on good form. But I'm going to go for 1-1. I don't know why. I just have that feeling. I don't know if Shea Adams and Obafemi off the bench are going to be the difference makers.
Yeah, I'm not 100% confident in my prediction though. So I think a draw is very possible.
Well, here's my prediction then, folks. I'm predicting Newcastle to win 1-0. They had a good result at the weekend. And Southampton without Danny Ings, I think, will struggle. So yeah, 1-0 to Newcastle.
Fair enough. Everton versus Man United, the first of the, let's say, big games of the weekend. It could be a very important game for Smeagol at United. What do you think, Anthony?
2-0 to Everton.
2-0 to Everton.
I don't think I need to explain why. So yeah, 2-0 to Everton.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah. Fair.
I mean, this is at Goodison, so it's not at Old Trafford.
Which means United stand more of a chance.
Yeah, which is kind of weird to say, but I don't know. I mean, if it was against someone like a Brighton or something like that, maybe I'd be more confident in United away, but it's against Everton, who are doing well. I mean, they've had a bit of a blip recently, but still they've been doing all right. Is Digne back and Richarlison, are they both back?
I think Digne might still be no, I think it's a 3-game ban, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think was Digne a 3-game ban as well?
I think Richarlison's
a straight red card. I think Richarlison's still out, yeah.
So if Digne's back, then If Digne's back, then I'm going to say this is an Everton win, so 2-1. That's under the assumption that Digne's back.
Okay, so Ant's gone 2-0, Stephen's gone 2-1. I've also predicted 2-1 to Everton. Interesting that we all have Everton to beat Man United, though. That is interesting.
It's just on form, isn't it?
Yeah. Crystal Palace versus Leeds. I'll start this off. Problem with Palace is they haven't had enough possession in their game so far this season. They've kind of gone down a bit of a bump. Did they win last weekend? No.
Palace played last weekend. I can't even remember.
Let me check. Let me check.
There you go. That's how.
No. They lost to Wolves.
They lost to Wolves. So I am going to go for Leeds to win this 1-0. Anthony.
I've went for Leeds to win also, and I've went for 2-1. Palace, even when they have been losing, have been scoring more often than not. But Leeds have also been scoring, so 2-1.
Yeah, I think Leeds is a fast-paced, high-pressing game is going to be too much for the old man legs at Palace. So I'm going to say 3-1 to Leeds.
Fair game. Chelsea versus Sheffield. If you asked me this time last season, it would have been a complete different result to what I think it'd be now. I am going to go for Chelsea to win this. It's just a matter of not if I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I'm going to go for Chelsea to win this 2-0. 2-0 to Chelsea. Stephen?
Yeah, I think Chelsea are going to win this. Sheffield as well. I mean, Burnley, we talked about Burnley struggling. Sheffield, not looking good for them. So I'm going to say...
What's happened to Sheffield, though, as well? That's the mad thing. Like, they were a good team last season. They've just fallen.
God knows.
As I said, remember when we did our table predictions, I would say maybe teams... I mean, when Sheffield first came up, their tactics were a surprise. They caught people off guard. But now we've had a season to look and analyse. Maybe the teams have figured them out. So maybe that could be it.
No, Ethan Ampadu for Sheffield this weekend as well, obviously.
Well, he hasn't been playing anyway, so...
he's been playing. He's been starting. He's been starting.
Well, I'm on to my actual prediction. I'm going to say 3-1 to Chelsea.
3-1.
I mean, before Mendy came in, I would say Chelsea are guaranteed to concede, but honestly, I'm not 100% confident that Sheffield will score, but I'm just going to say 3-1 anyway.
Ryan Brewster.
Yeah. Well, I've went 3-0 to Chelsea because I think they'll continue the run of clean sheets. I don't think
we do love the number 3 ever since we've had the sponsor. That is true.
Yeah, so 3-0.
Maybe I should have thought about that. Interesting. Okay, West Ham versus Fulham. Go on, Stephen.
I think you all know my thoughts on Fulham. Absolutely shit team.
I didn't know you didn't like them.
Have I never mentioned it? So I'm going to say 4-0 to West Ham. Antonio hat-trick. Easy.
I think Antonio's injured. It's the only problem.
Is he?
Yeah. That's the
he didn't play. No, he didn't play against Liverpool, but he could still be back. I might be wrong. I don't know if he is injured or not.
Well, if not, Ben Rama hat-trick. Ben Rama hat-trick.
A hat-trick regardless.
Yeah.
I am going with 2-0 to West Ham.
2-0 to West
Ham.
They've been playing well.
I'm just,
They're playing well, and they have been playing well the whole time.
At the moment, I think on paper, I think West Ham's one of the bankers to win this weekend. You'd expect. I'm going to go 3-1 to West Ham. 3-1 to West Ham. West Brom versus Tottenham. Another one on paper where Tottenham should be an absolute banker. But do with your feet so, Anthony, what do you think the score's going to be?
3-0 to Spurs.
Yes, he does. Stephen?
I'm going to say 2-0. West Brom, again, they like to play defensive. I don't think they're going to score, but I think their defense is all right. It's meh. So I'm going to say 2-0. Pretty fairly dull affair.
Lovely. 2 comfortable results there from Anthony and Stephen, which means Matt has to spice it up, doesn't he? He has to bloody spice it up. I'm going for West Brom Tottenham to be 1-1. Call me a madman.
They called me a madman. And what I predicted came to pass.
I think you got to be bold if you want to stand a chance to win. So
4-0 for West Brom. That's what you got to bet.
Yeah, West Brom. If West Brom did win 4-0, and I did actually say that, then I'd just expect to win anyway. But West Brom Spurs 1-0. Leicester versus Wolves. Anthony.
This is a difficult one. Both teams are very good. I think this is a high-scoring game, to be honest. I'm going to go 3-2 to Leicester this time. I think Leicester have been good this season so far, and I think being at home, while it won't have the same boost it usually does, will be enough to see Wolves off.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go for the Foxes to win 3-1 instead of 3-2. 3-1. I think Leicester have picked up a good little bit of form. Wolves haven't been great, not as good as people might have expected so far this season. So I'm going to go Foxes 3-1.
I think with me, I've been sort of underrating Leicester in my predictions so far this season, and every time I haven't picked them to win, they have, and they've surprised me. I think all of us really have sort of underrated Leicester a bit. I think in my table I put them at but we all put them at like 8th or 9th, didn't we? So I was originally going to say 3-2, but I don't want to copy Anthony's score. So I'm going to, because I've been underrating Leicester, I'm really going to pump them up this game and pump up their ego and say 4-1.
You got to pump it up, don't you know?
So
they've got a few 4-1 results. So
what this means is Wolves are going to win 3-0.
Yeah, that's
probably.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Moving on to the big game of the weekend, Manchester City take on Liverpool. Anthony, we will come to you last out of respect to your beloved Liverpool. I'm going to go first. I think City-Liverpool will be 2-2. Stephen.
Interesting. I thought I would be the only one predicting a draw here, but obviously not. So I'm going to say 1-1.
And Anthony.
Do we know if Aguero's back or not? Is he still out?
I think he's still out, but I might be wrong.
This is so difficult because City's attack is not as strong as it usually is, and Liverpool's defense is not as strong as it usually is. This is this is difficult to call. I'm going to back my team, and I'm going to go 2-1 to Liverpool because
Fair enough.
I think we will be focused enough not to lose too badly. I don't see us losing by 2 goals if we lose.
No.
And I see us scoring because City's defence is still rocky on days. And they're also without Aguero. So, yeah, 2-1 to Liverpool.
So me and Stephen go for a draw. Anthony backs his team. Last game of the fixture round, we shall wrap this up very quickly. Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Villa, who've lost a bit of form. Arsenal, who are being Arsenal, I suppose. Stephen, what do you reckon?
I've been pretty high on Arsenal in my predictions, and I'm going to continue that trend. Not just because it's against Villa. I mean, that does kind of play a part, but still. But Arsenal have just been solid, and they've just been picking up these pretty decent wins. I mean, they've not been blowing people away, but they've just been picking up results. So I'm going to say a solid 2-0 respectable win for Arsenal.
In that case, I'll go next, and I've predicted exactly the same, and I'm not going to change it. I think Arsenal will win it. 2-0 to Arsenal. Anthony?
I've went for 3-1 to Arsenal. I think they'll score quite a few goals. Aubameyang's been a bit quiet this season, but I still expect him to score. But I also don't think Arsenal's defence is solid enough yet to not keep a clean sheet against a team that has been good.
Impressive. He's looked very impressive.
Yeah, but what I mean is Arsenal have still got mistakes in them. And I mean, Villa have been very good going forward. So, yeah.
3-1. And on that note, that is the end of the podcast. Thank you for listening, watching, blah, blah, blah. I'm at Perry Job by Stephen Anthony Milne, and we shall see you next time.